Hi, everybody. I almost feel guilty because I've waited so long in between readings. It has been because I didn't want to do one. I wanted to get a microphone first. You notice I'm talking loud because I still haven't got one. I'm supposed to go to my daughter's tonight, and we're going to order one off of Amazon. It took a while to do a little research on what I needed, or what a friend of mine thinks I needed. I still don't know, but he sent me some stuff on it, and so we're going to order one tonight on Amazon. So I was going to wait, and then I thought if I do that, by the time I get home, I'll be lucky if I get this done in another day. So there's just somebody I've been wanting to read on so bad, and I usually didn't think that much of it to start with, but the person I want to read on is Nancy Pelosi. I don't know. One day I think she's the smartest woman in Washington, and that she's got some kind of strategy going. And the next thing when I watch her, I think, well, the only strategy she's got going is to try to stay right where she's at. She wants to stay speaker. Acts like she doesn't want to start the process, or there's another name for it before it's impeachment, but investigation process into impeachment, is that what it's called? But saying she doesn't want to start that because it might hurt some members of the House. And I thought she was talking about the old cronies like her that's in there, the ones that's been feeding on corporate money for all these years and taking money from all the big people. And then when she was explaining it, it was like the new members of the House that she was worried about, supposedly. She's worried about, and the new members of the House aren't worried about it at all, because that's what they got in there for, was to take action. So that doesn't make much sense to me, but a lot of things don't make sense to me. I thought maybe she was worried about her reelection, but she's in there till 22, so she doesn't have to worry about anything this election. What keeps nagging at me, I feel funny talking this loud, what keeps nagging at me, because she's so wishy-washy on what needs to be done, and like today, was at Hope Hicks' supposedly hearing, or whatever, where she was supposed to testify, but just did what the president told her to do. It's like some strategist said, well, see, now they can go into court and say that they can't take this overall, whatever it was they claimed. It wasn't even presidential privilege. It was something else. I probably shouldn't be making this video if I can't even think of what it's called. I listened to it 100 times today. But anybody watching this knows what I'm talking about. They say, oh, now we've got this all, in writing, whatever, down, so now we can go to court on this. Well, this stuff should have been done 2 or 3 months ago. What in the hell are they doing? The reason the House got flipped so hard was because people wanted something done. And now that they flipped it, they've got a speaker in there that won't let them do nothing. So I've always liked Nancy Pelosi. I've read the books on her, read the books she wrote. I've always thought that she was a great mentor for younger women, and she's always been one of my female heroes. But is she so inside the beltway that she can't see what's going on? Because an impeachment's not going to hurt getting the Democrats reelected at all. It might end up hurting getting some of the Republicans reelected, but there is one way where it could hurt getting the Democrats reelected. And it just keeps on and on me. Maybe that's why she'd rather wait and just vote him out. Because if they really start doing deep investigations and it starts turning up what's been going on there for the last several years, it's not only the Republicans in the Senate their stuff's going to start coming out on, and how they were connected to Russia, and the money from Russia, and the money through the NRA from Russia. It might end up getting a lot of, when they throw that lasso out there, it might end up getting a lot of the Democrats caught in it too. And maybe she'd be one of them, who knows, or people that's been in there so many years. You can just, and collected so many thousands, probably millions and millions of dollars over the years. There's no telling what they might find when they start looking in there. So I think that may be another motivation going on with her. I think maybe she's thinking, let's just sit and wait this out and then he'll be gone because we're going to vote him out of office. Well, unless something gets dropped on our heads, they probably will. But then she also said, I was just reading in one of the papers where she had written an article, or not written an article, but been interviewed, that she thinks that he's just going to have to be beat by a total landslide or he's not leaving office. Well, if she feels that way already, there's another reason to impeach him. What are they doing? The man's breaking the law. He's tearing our nation apart. He's tearing our government apart. And they're treating him like their hands are tied behind him, totally behind him. So I think eventually we're going to find out that there's a lot more to this story than meets the eye. There's a lot of stuff going on here. We think we know a lot of stuff because the news has been so good with a lot of their come-through deals. But I think they're going to find out that there's just a lot of stuff here we don't know about. But anyway, today, sounds like I'm picking on her, and I know she's a great lady, and I know she's worked hard all her life and done a lot of great things. But at the same time, it just makes you wonder what is really going on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a Celtic cross on her. So let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. Get some light on this, maybe a little bit more, just a teeny tiny bit more. And see if we can figure out what's going on here. I've been shuffling these and shuffling them, and before I even turn the camera on and saying, this is for Nancy, what's going on. Still trying to figure out which cards to use. Being a Libra, I'm always indecisive. I've always been indecisive all my life, so I couldn't even figure out which cards to use, but I think I'm going to use the regular old tarot deck. I'm not looking for anything bad, but just looking to see what in the world is going on in your head, woman. What's going on? You're going to just drag your feet to our... I don't think our country can stand another year and a half of this man. Personally, he's just tearing it apart daily. Another year and a half, he will have Hillary Clinton in jail for nothing. That sounds so funny. It sounds so stupid, but the man is a ignoramus. Anyway, here we go. Well, she's got movement on her mind. She is thinking about moving forward with something here. We got the King of Pentacles here. She's thinking about moving forward on the King. So maybe she does have a plan that's not very foreseeable or whatever. Drapes up and do these. Anyway, first card up. First card up is the King of Pentacles on the move. So she knows Trump's on the move and trying to get by with something. Let's see if she's going to do any. Is she going to block him? Page of Wands, Page of Wands. They're wanting more information. They're wanting people to speak in public. They're wanting orators to come in. They're wanting people to slow his injustices down, I guess, by speaking. But how are they going to get him in there when they just let him walk all over him? What's going on there? So the influence and obstacles is the Page of Wands. So if he's an orator and he's talking and he's letting stuff out, is the obstacle that they can't get anybody to talk, even after they subpoena him in there? That could be the obstacle. It also could be, well, look at this. I'm standing here holding this card and I just happened to look down at it. The foundation of this reading is the Ten of Swords, and this is supposed to be on Nancy Pelosi. So is she worried about things from her past that could be coming through? They're not going to be able to kick her out. She's in there tight till 2022. 2022. So what's going on with this? All these swords in her back. Well, everybody's always trying to put swords in her back. Maybe she feels like she's between a rock and a hard spot. No matter which way she goes, she's going to get it from both sides. Maybe that's why that's the foundation of the reading. And I was going to look on the bottom of the deck here and see what's there. The Ace of Cups. That means truth will come out in the end. Anyway, in the recent past, here's another ace, an Ace of Wands. I'm feeling that she knows some truth that's going to come out. She's just waiting for something to kick her down this road. I'm sure hoping that's what's going on. Maybe it's because that's what I'm wanting, because I sure don't want her stalling till our government's gone. I feel like she is so close to everything that she just has no idea what is everything that's happened. I think if she could have sat back as a citizen who's really interested in this kind of stuff and watched it and watched everything going on 5 or 6 hours a day for the last 20 years almost, but really even longer periods for the last 4 or 5 years, I think she might be seeing a different picture. I'm not saying that I'm a way ignorant woman compared to her. I'm not trying to, but I'm just wishing that she had seen with her eyes and her brain and her head all the different angles and all the different things that I have seen by watching this go by. So we've got, and just in the recent past, looking for the truth, Ace of Swords, looking for truth and looking for justice. And in the present, there is stuff coming through so quick, so I think they're waiting for the subpoenas in New York. That's what's going on here. Here I am bitching and moaning and stuff, but up here in the sky, I'm thinking she might think, well, I'm going to have to take these arrows in my back because I'm waiting for some truth to come out, and it's going to come out when this New York stuff comes out. When they open up these cases in New York, I wonder how long we're going to have to wait for that. So in the recent future, is that her just sitting there calmly waiting, knowing that this is coming through? If that's true, I'm glad where this card is at. It's in the recent future. So that means before very long, we should be getting some news on all these lawsuits and everything that's supposed to be there in the Southern District of New York and other places too. I guess there's a couple other places besides just there. Well, she does have, these cards are saying that she does have the world a lot to do with what's going to happen to the world. And she knows that. This is what's going on inside her head. And she's trying to make accurate and good decisions. I don't know if the people around her are trying to steal her power. The ones that are trying to talk her out of going forward with this, or who knows, but here's somebody stealing those swords. So it's people right around her that aren't being honest with her and aren't giving her the truth. And I'm thinking maybe that goes back to what I said a few minutes ago, that I think because she's so busy and she's in that Beltway bubble that she doesn't really even maybe realize how bad it is. Maybe when she says stuff like, well, Trump wouldn't leave office anyway unless it was a landslide, maybe she's saying that, but she doesn't really believe it. I don't know. Anyway, let's see what comes up. The law. That's her hopes and fears. So maybe she's just waiting, and maybe it'll be in the near future that they're going to get some of this stuff through the courts, because that's definitely the courts. Looks like she's waiting for that. Meanwhile, she's got to be careful that somebody doesn't steal or bury evidence. And the outcome is the King of Swords. So I know I'm not a little child, that Mueller's no great big hero, and he's not going to come in and change anything that much. But he is going to have a lot of influence on what's going to go on here. He's going to have a lot of influence on public opinion. So I'm going to go back over this really quick to see if it makes any sense at all. Probably cut off my little speech in front of this, because I'll have to listen to it and make sure I'm not being unfair to anybody. But we do have her on a pathway as fast as she can get there, to see what she can get on the king, or to make the king leave. This is a chariot leaving fast. To do that, we need more information. Meanwhile, she's feeling like she is taking all kinds of stabs in the back for not going ahead with this. In fact, it's going to get harder every day for her that she does not go through with impeachment, because the people are wanting this, and they're wanting it bad. Starting to really want it bad. The ones that are paying attention to this are starting to really want this bad. She's waiting for some truth to come through. I feel like it's from the subpoenas and the indictments in New York. And it looks like some information about some money is going to come through pretty quick, and it looks like the courts are going to be rule in her favor. She is trying to do the best for the world, but she still needs to be careful that somebody's not hiding half of the facts from her, somebody close to her. And I don't know why Mueller would be the last card in her reading, but it is really important that they get him in there. And what's more important than anything, it's important that he speaks, that this is not in a closed session. It should be page of wands. It should be in an open session to get some of this information out there. So I feel what these cards are saying to me personally, that if Mueller does, if they get off their asses, this is the House, and get him in there to testify, they're still wing-wanging around whether they're going to have to subpoena him. Well, subpoena him. Do whatever you have to do. He's not act like he's some kind of national hero. Yep, they need to quit treating him like a hero and just subpoena him in there, because it will make a difference. I've been wanting to do this reading on Nancy for a long time, and I feel like I've been screaming all the way through this, but I promise you my next video up, I'm going to have a microphone. because my daughter's going to order one on Amazon, and I know it only usually takes about a day to get stuff delivered from them. So, I want to thank I still got some more people seeking readings, which was wonderful. If you'd like a private reading, it's at lynntarotreadings@gmail.com. lynntarotreadings@gmail.com. And I want to thank everybody that's watched my videos before and everybody that's watching this one. And if you like it, push the subscribe button or the like button. And I try to get back to everybody that comments. So I love your comments. I absolutely love the comments. So please get back with me about this. And I hope you don't think I'm beating up on Nancy. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. I'll say it nice. I was going to say WTF, but I won't.